Hello footballers, I'm back again with another video. If you don't know me already, I'm SURFACELDN. It actually says it on my jumper. And today I thought I'd take a different approach to videos. So we're doing a different style of video today. We're doing a commentary video. Jack mate, you p***y-o, I'm coming for your brand image. I've seen loads of these types of videos online and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start making them. So last night I was watching The Simpsons and I've seen so many times that they've predicted different things and some things are just a bit too crazy. So today we're looking at top 20 things that The Simpsons predicted. In case you don't know who The Simpsons are, go and watch TV. How do you not know who The Simpsons are? Caveman. Okay, right, let's have a look what The Simpsons predicted. Okay, so the first thing I want to discuss is the three-eyed fish. So this is from season 2, episode 4, and it came out in the 1990s. Bart caught this fish in a river that was by the power plant, and he called it Blinky. More than a decade later, and a three-eyed fish was actually discovered in a reservoir by a power plant. That's crazy. Out of everything though, like what? Look. I'm lost for words, like already this is the first one and they've predicted a three-eyed fish. I low-key just want to watch every Simpsons episode and just know what they're going to predict next. The second prediction. So this was in season 2, episode 9. Simpsons really be predicting a lot in season 2. And this was the censorship of Michelangelo's David. So this was again released in the 1990s. And this episode was called Itchy, Scratchy and Marge. Basically, in this episode, everybody was protesting because a statue had a penis. They were all like, no, this is absurd, this is obscene. Get rid of the statue or get rid of the dick. Anyway, in July of 2016, Russian campaigners voted that there should be clothing over the willy. No more naked statues, and The Simpsons told us it first. Very good, Simpsons. No penis. Penis is bad. What? The statue has a penis. Get out of here with your penis. The third thing that The Simpsons predicted. This was in season 2, episode 18. So this was released in 1991. And Ringo Starr, who is a member of the Beatles. If you don't know who the Beatles are, anyway, Ringo Starr was answering fan mail that had been written like years and years ago. And that was in a Simpsons episode. Anyway, of course he did it. Of course. In September of 2013, two guys from Essex got a reply from the Beatles. The Beatles replied to a message that was written over 50 years ago. Imagine that. You write a letter to someone and they reply 50 years later. At least they replied. Number 4. This was in season 5, episode 10. It was released in 1993. This was an episode called Springfield with a cool cash sign as the S. Swag! Anyway, during this episode, two magicians called Siegfried and Roy. I don't think I said their names right. I don't care. But they were attacked by a tiger during an act. Funnily enough, in 2003 it happened. Roy was actually attacked by a tiger. Luckily, he didn't die. I was actually attacked by a tiger too. Just joking. Number 5. Season 5, episode 19. This was released in 1994. And it's probably one that you're familiar with. The horse meat scandal. In 1994, lunch lady Doris used assorted horse parts to make lunches for students at Springfield Elementary School. 9 years later, Food Safety Authority of Ireland found horse meat in over a third of beef burger samples from supermarkets and ready meals. And also pig in 85% of them. You weren't eating beef burgers, guys, you were eating horse. Mixed with a bit of pig. I wonder what else was in our burgers. Disgusting. Number 6. Season 6, episode 8. This was released in 1994. Autocorrect. Some school bullies were writing on their phone, beat up Martin, and it autocorrected to eat up Martha. This was in 1994. You see, I don't know whether Simpsons actually predicted the future because Apple took inspiration from this to make autocorrect. So this one is a little bit, Number 7, season 6, episode 19. This came out in 1995. Smart watches. So The Simpsons introduced this idea of a watch that you could use as a phone. Anyway, 20 years after this episode aired, the Apple Watch was released. Crazy. Number 8, season 6, episode 19. This episode came out in 1995. It's called Lisa's Wedding, and they predicted the Shard. The Shard is a famous building in London, in case you didn't know. So during this episode, you can see a skyscraper behind the Tower of London. 14 years after this episode, they started building the Shard. And you know the scariest thing about this? It's in the right location. Literally, the picture has the location right. Number 9, season 6, episode 19. This is the same episode as the Shard, by the way. Anyway, in this episode, they replace librarians with robots. 20 years later, it happens. Of course, it happens. Robotic students from the University of Aberystwyth, I think that's how you say it, built a prototype for a walking librarian robot. Scientists in Singapore have also started doing this as well. Number 10, season 8, episode 1. This was released in 1998, the year that I was born. This episode is called The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, and basically Homer discovers the Higgs-Boson equation. I ain't no scientist or mathematician, I have no clue what this means. But basically, Homer discovered this equation which scientists in 2013 spent £10 million discovering. This is like the worst one. Imagine that, you spend £10 million to find out an equation, just to find out Homer Simpson discovered it 15 years ago. So this is like a massive secret in mathematics. It's like, it took 5 people and $13 million to find out this equation, when they could have just gone to The Simpsons. Number 11, season 9, episode 3, Ebola. So in this episode called Lisa's Sacks, Marge said to Bart, read this book. The book was called Curious George and the Ebola virus. 17 years later, Ebola happens. Number 12, season 10, episode 5. This episode is called When You Dish Upon a Star, and it aired in 1998, the year I was born. Anyway, in this episode, Disney buy 20th Century Fox. In 2017, so 19 years later, it happens. Disney bought 21st Century Fox for £52 billion. 52 billion pounds. 52 billion pounds. That's crazy. Number 13, season 11, episode 5. This aired in 1999, and this was the invention of the tobacco plant. So Homer uses nuclear energy to create this hybrid of tobacco and tomato, which makes tobacco. In 2003, a guy called Rob actually did this. He combined tobacco and tomato to make tobacco and invited the creators of The Simpsons to try his new tobacco plant. Number 14, season 20, episode 4. This came out in 2008. This one is the faulty voting machines. So Homer tried voting for Barack Obama, however he couldn't. The machine was like, no capes. 4 years later in Pennsylvania, there was this machine that actually broke, and it had to be removed because it changed everybody's votes to Barack Obama. That's a little bit too similar if you ask me. Number 15, season 21, episode 12. This episode came out in 2010. This one's to do with the Olympics, and basically they predicted that the US would beat Sweden in a game of curling at the Olympics. This actually happened in 2018. Of course it did. Number 16, season 22, episode 1. This came out in 2010. Basically, The Simpsons predicted that this professor would win a Nobel Prize, and it happened. Number 17, season 23, episode 22. Lady Gaga's halftime show at the Super Bowl. So this came out in 2012, and Lady Gaga performed for the town of Springfield, and she was basically flying through the sky. Anyway, 5 years later, it happened. Like, out of everything, like, why? Why would you just predict this? Why? No way! What? Season 29, episode 1. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, you're gonna love this. So this came out in 2017, and the episode was called The SURFACELDN. And basically this episode was a spoof of Game of Thrones, where a dragon just destroyed the whole kingdom. And of course, it happened in Game of Thrones. Number 19, Simpsons predicted Donald Trump. Look at this clip. This was released years and years ago. This clip happened just a couple of years ago. And finally, number 20, season 11, episode 17. So in this episode, it was called Bart to the Future. They predicted 9/11. Lisa comes through with this magazine. A few people have speculated that this is predicted 9/11. This episode came out in 2000. Obviously, 9/11 happened in 2001. There are many conspiracy theories about this. Whether they're true or not, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What the? That's so crazy. The stuff that they've predicted is insane. Anyway, that is all we got time for in this video. Let me know which one you thought was the craziest in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. I'd appreciate it very, very much. And let me know if you want me to do another video like this. There are literally like hundreds of things that the Simpsons have predicted, and I want to get to the bottom of this. Matt Groening. How do you even say his name? Matt Groening. The creator of the Simpsons is a time traveler, and you know it. I know you're watching this. He definitely ain't watching this. Anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.